suffering, the nails that pierce through your hands, all for love. By your blood, the holy and blameless one has made me right with God. You alone are my righteousness. By your blood, I freely enter in. There's no other way, only Jesus. Our high priest, great I am, your body became the veil for me to enter in. You raised to life, seated high, our intercessor, now reigning forever. You alone are my righteousness. By your blood, I freely enter in. There's no other way. There's no other way. You alone are my holiness. At the cross, I died to all I've been. There's no other way, only Jesus. Only Jesus. There's none more holy, there's none more worthy than the Lamb who was slain. There's no one like you, there's none beside you, Jesus, the highest of names. There's none more holy, there's none more worthy than the Lamb who was slain. There's no one like you, there's none beside you, Jesus, the highest of names. You alone are my righteousness. By your blood, I freely enter. There's no other way. There's no other way. You alone are my holiness. At the cross, I died to all I've been. There's no other way, only Jesus. There's no other way, only Jesus. There's no other way, only Jesus.
So we're playing in the key of F sharp.
Yes.
You're using C shapes
Yeah, C shapes.
on 6.
Yes.
And so I'm at 2 and 4 using E shapes, which the shortcut comes from D shapes, D, A, and G. So we're using totally different voices. Why the key of F sharp?
Well, when the song idea happened originally, it was in G, and G just on the "You Alone" was really high, and so we messed around with E, F, and F sharp. Just felt the best musically. It still had the punch that it originally had with G, but it was just in a much more comfortable key for my voice than G was.
And how has the congregation responded? What's that feel? like in the room?
They've responded great. We've done it in F sharp, like as a guy, we've done it in F sharp, F, and E, and it's been a lot of response. And then I think recently we had a female lead it in A, I think it was, and the response was good.
I think it's really something how no matter what key you sing it in, as long as it's comfortable for the lead,
Yeah,
the congregation just joins in. It's kind of like singing with the radio, and we can always sing.
Yes.
With Chris Tomlin in the car, but when we try to sing his keys by ourselves, we can't do it.
It's up there.
Where did the song come from?
So, I've just recently was camping out in the book of Hebrews, and I've just always been fascinated by the book of Hebrews because it talks a lot about Jesus being the Son of God, the Son of Man, the mediator, the intercessor for us who's seated at the right hand of the Father, but also our intercessor, our high priest, and the connection that it makes between, the God of the Old Testament that we saw at the beginning of Genesis is Jesus. He's present the whole time, and no one created him, but he's always been. He is the very one that said, I am who I am, I'm the great I am to Moses, is the one that was healing the sick and carrying the cross to Calvary. Really, what happened was one evening I came home and I picked up my guitar. Sometimes you just feel like, as a worship leader, you just need to sing something. You don't know what, but you just need to sing. And I picked up my guitar, and I just remember playing, that little idea, melody-wise. And I don't know. I was also, as I was reading Hebrews, just thinking about how much I need the Lord. I just need the Lord. We all need him. And I just remember singing, You Alone Are My Righteousness, By Your Blood I Enter In. I was just singing that over and over and over again. And so fast forward a bit, brought this idea to some people at my church on staff, and we finished the song, but we just needed one little bow to tie on to the chorus. What is the main idea of this song? And we started singing, There's no other way, but it still needed just that little something, the cherry on top, to complete it. And to make a long story short, our Pastor Donnie, was doing a hospice style visit with a lady in our church, and she was in her last moments, transitioning to literally close her eyes here and open them in glory and be in the Lord's presence in heaven. And he was asking her, so when you get to heaven, what are you gonna say? If they're like, why should I let you in? What are you gonna say? And she was just like, I was a good person. And he's like, no, you're gonna say only Jesus. And so then she'd be like, okay, but I tried really hard, and I went to church, and I tried to pray for my kids and all this. And he's like, no, that's great, but it's only Jesus. And so that became kind of a theme in his sermons for a couple weeks of just only Jesus, only Jesus, only Jesus. And so to sum it all up, we had this and a collection of 5 other songs, and we felt like this one was 98% done, but it still needed a little something, but we just didn't know what that was. And so then we're like, man, what should the title of the album be? And I just blurted out, only Jesus. And then it was the light bulb went on for all of us. And then we, let Pastor Donnie know, and then he was freaking out. He was so excited. And yeah, that became the kind of
awesome
cherry on top for the song.
Awesome. Good stuff. And where do we find, what's the easiest place to find it?
Yeah, so if you just look up You Alone, the Fellowship Collective on Spotify or Apple Music, my name's attached to it too, Michael Bennet. So You Alone, Michael Bennet, You Alone, the Fellowship Collective, you'll be able to find it very easily.
Good stuff.
You